What time does Preakness 2024 start? Well, the answer is just around the corner. As Mystik Dan seeks a second Triple Crown win, he faces stiff competition from Bob Baffert-trained Imagination, Brad Cox's Catching Freedom, and Chad Brown's Tuscan Gold. These main challengers are ready, and with the Preakness possibly running on a muddy track, the stakes are high. Rain was already falling at Pimlico Racecourse on Saturday, hours before the Kentucky Derby winner Mystik Dan attempts back-to-back Triple Crown victories, competing against 7 other horses in the Preakness Stakes. Should he win, he'd be the first to claim both the Derby and the Preakness since Justify in 2018, setting up an unusual and historic moment next month with a Triple Crown on the line at the Belmont Stakes. The post time for the Preakness 2024 is set for 6:50 p.m. Mystik Dan is on a quest for his second Triple Crown win. To achieve this, he must overcome competitors like the Bob Baffert-trained Imagination, Brad Cox's Catching Freedom, and Chad Brown's Tuscan Gold. The challenge intensifies with the possibility of a muddy track at Pimlico. Rain was already making its presence felt at the racecourse on Saturday, just hours before Mystik Dan, the Kentucky Derby winner, aims for consecutive Triple Crown victories by taking on 7 other horses in the Preakness Stakes. Winning both the Derby and the Preakness, something last achieved by Justify in 2018, would set the stage for a historic event next month, with a Triple Crown opportunity at the Belmont Stakes. As race day unfolds, Mystik Dan faces formidable opponents like Bob Baffert's Imagination, Brad Cox's Catching Freedom, and Chad Brown's Tuscan Gold. The track conditions at Pimlico could be challenging, with a muddy surface expected, as showers are likely to continue throughout the afternoon. Rain was already falling at the racecourse hours before the event as Mystik Dan prepares to strive for back-to-back Triple Crown victories against 7 other competitors in the Preakness Stakes. If he succeeds, he will be the first since Justify in 2018 to win both the Derby and the Preakness, paving the way for a potentially historic Triple Crown showdown next month at the Belmont Stakes. The excitement builds as the race time approaches. Remember, the event is scheduled for Eastern Time, but you can catch all the coverage on NBC starting at 4:30 p.m. ET or stream it on Peacock. Mystik Dan opens Saturday as the 3-1 favorite, with Catching Freedom and Tuscan Gold each at 7-2 and Imagination at 9-2. Catching Freedom trained really well going into the Derby, Mystik Dan's trainer Kenny McPeak said this week. He's a very nice horse. And Bob, he wouldn't bring a horse without it being a good horse. And Chad's also got a horse coming out of finishing 3rd behind winner Catching Freedom in the Louisiana Derby. Yeah, it's not a given. Many trainers' reluctance to do the Derby Preakness double, once the norm for horses on the Triple Crown trail, has raised questions about the prestige of the middle jewel and concerns that it has become the unwanted stepchild of the series. There are debates about spacing the races out to adapt to modern thoroughbreds that race less frequently than in previous eras. This will be the final Preakness at aging Pimlico Racecourse as it stands now, with demolition set to begin early next year. The 150th running in 2025 will still take place at the track during construction before moving to Laurel Park in 2026, and then returning to a rebuilt Pimlico in 2027. The final leg of the Triple Crown is taking place on June 8th, and for the first time at the Saratoga Racecourse in upstate New York because of renovations at Belmont Park in New York City. Construction is expected to last into 2025, so there's a good chance of the Belmont at Saratoga 2 years in a row. Racing in New York is currently happening at Aqueduct in Queens, which was home to the Triple Crown finale from 1963 to 67, the last time Belmont Park was renovated.